Welcome back. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at a drawing that I did a while back, but this time I'm going to speed it up a lot, and it's going to be this desk. So what I'm going to assume is that you've watched the other video where I kind of go into it and explain it a lot slower, and if you haven't, I will make sure that I link the video below, and it should be a tab that's going to appear, and so you can go back and take a look at that. So I'm going to try to speed this up using some real quick shortcuts, some grips and things of that nature. And hopefully that will help you speed up your keystrokes and understand how to use grips and, shortcuts. So I will announce the commands, like for example, if I want to move something, I will tell you that I'm going to move it. But I'm going to assume that you know how to go to the move command. And I'm just going to use the shortcut just by typing in M enter and go on from there. So that's what you're going to expect when I'm creating this desk. So some of my first observations that I like to do is instantly that you will see the dimensions are using architectural dimensions. So we need to set this up to use feet and inches. And we see that the legs at the bottom of this, they're rotated or kind of have an angle at 15 degrees. I know it says 75, but I'm just kind of taking the math of it of the 90 minus 75. And we see that there are also pipes because it gives us a diameter dimension which is located here. So those are all the things that I'm quickly analyzing here, and I'm just going to make sure that all of these numbers kind of equal what they do. It gives us a note here at the bottom that the sizes of the handles are going to be 4x1s, and they're going to be centered on each one of these, and they're located 2 inches down. Okay, so I think I have enough information that I'm going to need to construct this. So let's go ahead and switch over to AutoCAD. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is switch AutoCAD over to those architectural units. Remember that I'm just going to click the fly up here where it says decimal, and then I'm going to switch it over to architectural. If you do not have this icon down, it's just as simple as clicking on the customization, and then you're going to look for the one that says units and make sure that there's a check beside it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started now that we have the rectangle units. So I'm going to create a rectangle. Then I'll place my first point here, and I see that the overall length of that desk is 5 feet 5 inches. So I'm going to type in the X dimension first, 5 feet 5, and remember you don't have to put the inches mark, followed by a comma, and then I need to find out how high the desk is, which is 1. Okay, now I have the height of my desk. Let's go ahead and create the rectangle of one of those drawers. Okay, so I'm going to do some basic math here to get the height of it. I'm just going to add my 7 inches plus 1 is 8. And then I also have a 4 inches that I'm going to add to it. So that's going to give me the height of it. And the width of it is going to be located here. So that's all the information that I'm going to need to construct one of the drawers on the side of my desk. Okay, so I just remembered when I looked at that drawing, I added a 1 there, and it actually is a 1 foot. So that's actually 1 foot 11 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and create my rectangle now. Remember that I'm going to type in the width first, so I click my starting point, 1 foot 12, comma, and the height of this is going to be 1 foot 11. So there is where it's going to be one side of my drawer is at. I'm going to go ahead and place this on the end. So I'm going to select the rectangle, I'll select this endpoint, hit the space bar one time, and then I'll just click on this endpoint. Okay, now I want to move this over, so I'm just going to select this midpoint one here, and with the midpoint one, the space bar one time, that moves me into a move command, and I hope you're watching here on the bottom. It's going to come up with some icons that's telling you to move. But I'm making sure I'm going in this way with my polar tracking, 1 enter. Okay. So next I'm going to create a construction line. I'm going to offset this on the inside of the boundary. So I'm just going to go to offset. The distance of that is going to be 1. I'm going to offset my rectangle to the inside. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and use the offset. Now if I offset this, it's going to offset it to the inside. So I'm going to use the offset that's inside of the construction line command. So that shortcut is XL. Then I'll choose the offset option, type in the distance, which is 5, select the line that I want to offset, and I'll come down to here and I'll do the exact same to here. So now I have both of my drawers in position. Go ahead and trim that off, and I'm going to use the cookie cutter trim or X trim and I just typed in EXTRIM. I'm going to select the rectangle on the inside and click to the outside. Okay, so now I think I'm going to go ahead and put my handles in now. I can also wait and do that a little bit later. So I'm just going to create a rectangle. Click my starting point. Remember at the bottom it told me that the length of it was 4, comma, and the height is 1. I'll go ahead and place it. Let's go ahead and select our rectangle. I'll select this midpoint, space bar one time, and put it on that end point. I'm sorry, on that midpoint. Okay, so I can either copy them now or I can copy them later. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to select it again. Select my handle, space bar, and now down on my command line I want to go to the copy command, so I'll select copy, and I'm also going to shift the base point. So I'm going to choose the word base point. Now I'm going to tell it that I want to use this endpoint as my base point, so I'll click here, and then I'll just click these endpoints. Now I'm going to move all 3 of these together. So I'm just going to, so make sure you hit the escape button just to clear your grips before you go into this next one. I got them all highlighted. I'll select any one of these grips I want, space bar, so now I'm in the move. I have the tracking coming down, and I'll type in the number 2. So now all of my handles are in the right location. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and create a line coming down. So I'm going to create that line going right from this endpoint, going straight down. And it looks like I bent that a little bit. Let me go ahead and create that again. So a line from this endpoint going straight down. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to rotate this slightly. So I'm going to select it, select this grip, spacebar twice. I'm looking for the word rotate here on my command line. Next, I'm going to type in which direction I want it to go. Remember that the angles are going in a counterclockwise, so I'm going to type in my 15 degrees, and it should bend it out that direction. Okay, so next I'm just going to select another one of these grips, spacebar one time. I want to go this direction, so make sure the polar tracking is pulling me in that direction. I'll type in 1, enter. Then I'm going to offset this the diameter of that pipe, so I'm just going to use offset. I'm going to type in my diameter, which is 1.5. I'm sorry, the distance. I'll select this line here, and then offset it to this side. Alright, the overall height of my desk is 2'6", so I'm just going to offset that top one going down. But once again, these are rectangles, so I can't just use the regular offset command. So I'm going to go to the construction line command, choose offset. I'll type in 2'6", select the very top line here at the top, and come down. Alright, so now I have enough information. I can use the trim command. So I'm going to use trim. I'm going to take off these edges and then this bottom portion here. Now remember that once you're in the trim command, you're also in the extend command. So I'm going to hold down the shift button, and then I'm going to select that line. Escape. Let's go ahead and mirror this to the other side. So I'm going to select all 3 of these lines. I'll select one of the grips. I'm going to select on the space bar until I get to the word mirror. I'm going to tell it that I want it to copy it, and then I'm going to tell it to change the base point. From here, I'll go ahead and select the midpoint down to that midpoint. Then press escape twice, and that should clear out. Now I want to get all of this on the other side, so I'm going to put a window going across here. I can select any grip I want. Remember that I'm selecting with the space bar until I get to the mirror command. I want to create a copy, and I want to change the base point. I'll select this midpoint, going down to that midpoint, and then hit escape twice. Okay, I have a couple of more lines that I have to create here. So I'm going to go back to the construction line command. I'll choose offset. I'm going to type in 4. Then I'm going to select this bottom line. I'm just going to offset that down here. Now I'll use the trim command, and before I did not use any cutting edges, but this time I do want to select some cutting edges, so I'll select here, and I'm going to select this rectangle and this one. Enter, and now this is going to allow me to trim, and I don't have to go so carefully through here. So I can trim here and also here. Escape. Now I can use the regular offset command. Now I'm going to offset 12 inches or 1 foot. And that's going to get me this line here. Last thing I need to do is I need to copy any one of these handles that I want from this midpoint to that one. So I'll go ahead and select the handle, select any grip you want, space. I'm in the move command. I want to go to copy, so I'm going to select copy, and I'm going to change the base point. I'll select this midpoint as my base point, and then I'll place it at that midpoint. Okay, escape twice, and I'm just going to double click my middle mouse wheel to zoom the extents and back out just a little bit. And now you can see that I completed that desk rather quickly. I hope you enjoyed watching me use the grips command as well as some of the other ones. And you can see how fast this goes if you're just using type in key commands as opposed to going to search for what you're looking for along here at the top. For example, like if I'm looking for the construction line, I have to actually go underneath the drop down here, and then I have to go find the construction line command. A lot easier to type in Excel and keep right on going. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'm going to try to do a few more videos like this one where I'm showing you how you can speed up your keystroke if you want to use grips and shortcut commands as opposed to going to the command line and searching for them. Once again, I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you.